guys, welcome back to Lore and Tea, the chill club for all things geeky. We're finally back with our FNAF investigation. It's been a while just because it's hard to lock Legendet down these days for something that's going to take a bit amount of time to do. But anyways, before we get into finally the logbook, what kind of tea do you have today, Legendet?
I think it's the same one I've had the last couple times. It's vanilla, chamomile, and honey, but I put real honey and creamer in it. Pretty good.
I've never put creamer in my tea. I only do that for coffee. I have my mint medley, as I said before. I'll probably have that for the foreseeable future, because I have a crap ton of them now. But other things I have is I have a new camera and a bit of new lighting. So hopefully the quality looks a bit better. I know we're kind of small on the screen, so it might not be that noticeable. But on my personal channel, the upgrade will certainly be clear. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Yeah. Anyways, logbook time. So Legendet, I know it's been a second. It's been a second since you were in the boonies of FNAF. So what do you remember from our little, investigation so far? Because I know you don't live and breathe fictional lore. So
I mean, that's a very broad question. What do I remember?
What do you remember? What has stood out to you? It's been like, what, over 2 weeks for you? Like,
Yeah.
in Legendet time, that you've maybe forgot the whole series.
I mean, okay, what was the last one we did? That was...
We just got off of Ultimate Custom Night.
Right, okay, so that was the one that was super, like, confusing, because it had, like, the voice lines.
Yeah, mostly voice lines was the lore extraction from that one.
Yeah, I still don't know what to think about a couple of those lines, but...
No, I hate the Chica line to this day. I was the first I've seen everything directly after the wound first inflicted on me. I know that, I know there's different mental gymnastics ways of, theories that have explained that, kind of, but it's like, it's so bad. It's like...
Yeah. It's like, what? How?
Yeah.
How are you the first?
Yeah, it's like, what? Yeah, I know, and it's the whole different thing of like, oh, maybe it's talking about the animatronic and not the spirit, but then it's like, but it feels like most of the time it's at least a spirit speaking. Like, it feels like when it's an animatronic speaking, it's very clear, and that Chica one does not feel like it's clear that it's an animatronic speaking, So it's always ruffled my feathers a bit, implying Susie was the first kill right after Henry was pretty certain. And then I guess we would say, like, oh, the wound wasn't Charlie that he's talking about, but that seems actively deceptive given that in the same game we get the Charlie, lore with the puppet and stuff, so...
much sense.
Yeah, I don't know what's that all about, but yeah, the voice lines, some of them are infuriating. A lot of that stuff we should take a closer look at too later on, but yeah, so that's what we just did. How about the story overall? Any other beats you want to mention? Actually, this is a good... Guys, wait, let's take this time to regroup. All right, this episode is kind of going to be shorter because we just had the logbook and some brief discussions about the first interview that I wanted to do, and that was just about it. So I think we can take some time to have a little taking stock of where we're at here, because it has been a while and we've been flying through these, relatively speaking. So, Legendet, I'd like you to sit back, relax, tell me your perspective on the FNAF lore. Like, it doesn't have to be super complicated. Yeah, it doesn't have to be super complicated, but if I were to ask you, what's your understanding of, like, the mainline game lore of FNAF, what would you tell me, broadly speaking?
Oh boy, okay. So, there was this dude, right, who had another dude as a partner, and they were like, let's open a pizza place. So they opened a pizza place, but then... Oh no, I have to remember my timeline on all this now. Okay. I'm scared I'm going to contradict something that I decided before just because I forgot.
I'll probably let you know.
Okay.
So... If you contradict yourself, I'll stop you.
Oh boy, okay. So... I don't know anymore.
There was 2 dudes that opened up a pizza shop. That's all you had to say.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm trying. I can't remember the order. Okay. I might go out of order, but there was basically one dude, had a kid who got his head bitten off by his older brother being stupid. And then
Hmm.
the older brother dude was mad at his dad for murdering 5 children. And so he went out.
Just jump right into that.
Yeah. Oh, one of those. Then there was a child that was also murdered, like, first. That was his partner's daughter. Mind blown there. So then, how rude of him. So dude is
How rude.
angry at other dude.
Generally impolite to
Genuinely
murder
impolite.
children, really young children of your partner. Yeah, that's yeah.
She wanted to help the other children to become like robots, so they became spirit robots. And then the the brother that was stupid and accidentally killed his younger brother was like, I'm a find daddy. And so he became like a night guard. And then the partner dude was like, time for my revenge, and burned down Afton dude in his one of his pizza places. And then he was stuck with all his murdered people.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. Good. 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 Nothing about sister location in all of that.
It's implied.
It's implied. Okay, so I guess to zoom in on some questions, because there are a couple things relevant to this book from a couple of the different games, which is why I just kind of want to prime your memory a little bit before we get into it. What exactly do you interpret the FNAF 4 nightmares as? And generally some of the things going on in the FNAF 4 game.
Well, I think
Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, I'm scared I'm gonna end up saying something that like I didn't end up deciding at the end. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think I thought that they were nightmares, right? Like they were nightmares.
Yeah, I think we did land on the kind of majority consensus is that they kind of have to be Michael's, even though it seemed to be the crying child's, just because of, the distorted FNAF 1 phone call,
Yeah, I think it was Michael.
hospital imagery to a degree of interpretation. But yeah, and then sister location, right? Michael goes there. Did we both think sister location happens before FNAF? Wait, no. FNAF? Did we think it happened before FNAF 1? I forget. Yeah, before FNAF 1.
I think.
Oh, wait. No,
Wait,
after FNAF
no.
1?
I don't know.
I think we did because I think what we ended up deciding was it has to happen post Follow Me minigames, which we also thought had to have happened after FNAF 1. So I think we think sister location is after FNAF 1.
Okay.
And that just completely based on the presupposition that Follow Me takes place after FNAF 1, which, if you have reasons to believe that it doesn't, then might be more, you would probably could be very compelled to think sister location happens before then. But, so Michael goes there, and then after that, sometime later, Michael does the FNAF 3 thing, right? We both think that Night Guard's Michael seems pretty implicated to me. But and that is the first burning before Henry's fire that you mentioned. So we have those two things. What else was I gonna ask? Oh, yeah, a big part about this book, Ultimate Custom Night. What was the main dynamic going on within that game?
It was like he was in basically like hell, a version, like his own, version, but with like all the people that he screwed.
Right, so who was facilitating that? There was a reason why he was in that specific purgatory. Do you remember the spirit?
The vengeful one?
Yeah, the vengeful spirit. Greetings from the fire. The one you should not have killed. So keep that in mind, because that's pretty relevant, somewhat, at least in a lot of theories, to what's about to happen here. So the vengeful spirit is perpetually torturing Afton using his own machinations basically against him in this like spiritual purgatory realm. It seems that the other spirits are trapped to a certain degree based on what the withered Bonnie person said, and we definitely know that Charlie's around in the mess because of what the puppet said. Um, so yeah, keep all that in mind. And finally, another thing, just to refresh your memory, Golden Freddy. What did you think of him?
Oh. Okay. Do I think there's two people in Freddy?
Yeah, you were leaning towards dual possession because you do not think that the crying child was part. Like I don't think so either. I know there's some interpretations that kind of make crying child part of the MCI, but I think that's pretty impossible in my personal interpretation. So, uh, in the case that the crying child is somewhere here, like is possessing any of them, it'd have to be Golden Freddy because Fredbear's the one that bit him, and since there was 5 kids in the MCI and Golden Freddy would be the 5th animatronic that one of the kids is stuffed into, without any weirdness of like, oh, is actually Charlie or is actually Bite Victim himself. Then there would kind of have to be, to a certain degree, 2 spirits in Golden Freddy. And then at the end of Ultimate Custom Night, kind of the reward you get for beating the hardest mode of it is you see Golden Freddy twitching and fading into the distance, perhaps indicating that the vengeful spirit is the spirit that inhabits Golden Freddy. Now, if we think there's 2 of them, that can become somewhat of a more complex conversation. But I think we were both kind of on board with the general idea that that little cutscene there was showing us that the eventual spirit is Golden Freddy. I feel like a lot of people share that outlook because it's just kind of a simple conclusion to draw. And what else was I going to say? I was about to head somewhere else. Well, it evaporated from my brain. Yeah. Okay, and then Cassidy, let me just rephrase that whole thing, that sentence I just said. So Cassidy is a name of a missing, dead child that possesses one of the 5 main animatronics mentioned in the book series. However, she's associated with Golden Freddy for reasons we'll talk about soon. But in that series, Michael Brooks is the one who I believe who is attached to Golden Freddy, so it's a bit different. But the name Cassidy is present, which is important going forward. Anyway, what we have here, all that being laid as the foundations, is the Five Nights at Freddy's Survival Logbook. Have you heard of this book, Legendet?
Apparently. I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah, so basically it's like an activity book that was released. It's, under the guise of being this activity book, but it actually contains lore and it has a lot of things to do. So there's a lot of like codes, cipher type things in this that were like I'm a narrative dissection person. I am not into the code cracking sphere. So all of that stuff I'll just try to either say from memory, give like very vague things just to get to the important things that were discovered, or like look stuff up to make sure I'm talking about what people have found in this for the code cracking stuff. But other than that, we're just kind of going to go through and look at perhaps the lore relevant things going on and see what we can extract from it. I have the physical version. Legendet's going to be looking at the digital version with me here, but I might crack this open to look at it as we go as well. But yeah. Whoops, I'm dropping my book. So as you can see right from the start, security has been replaced with survival by a red pen. So presumably the red pen guy is going to be the current owner, or well, maybe not current, but at least was an owner of the book, right?
There's lots of blood on this thing.
Yeah, there's blood on the pages. That implies that it's been around for something, right?
Yeah. I wonder if it's been
there's actual blood splotches on it. That's something I feel like I don't talk about or hear about, much, is the literal blood stains on it and exactly the source of that. But something big is going to happen in the next page already. Who does it belong to?
Mike!
Yeah. So this book belongs to Mike. There's only one Mike I can think of that would even, make sense to apply here, right?
No, some random Mike all of a sudden,
Yeah, I mean, well, remember there was like what Mike Schmidt in here, which we think is a, false name for Michael Afton, but yeah. Sorry, looks like somebody's already written this one. You don't mind, right? So that sticky note establishes that we're supposed to be like pretending that we own this book now, and Mike had it previously. So sometime in the past, Mike, we are all going to assume Michael Afton here owned and written in this book in this red pen. Anyway, how to use this logbook. Welcome to the first day of your exciting new career. This journal is designed for you, Fazbear Entertainment's newest employee, to both welcome you and ensure you feel fulfilled and prepared during your first week on the job. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed, otherwise you might not come back. After each night's work, we ask that you take a moment for self-reflection by completing the various activities in the pages that follow. Some of these activities will review your training, while others will help you clear your mind and focus. And of course, don't forget to log any strange events that occur throughout your shift. Let's get started. So some of this, yeah, some of this is just activity. So we'll make sure we hit every page, but we don't need to like read everything. So this follows a sort of night model, like a 5-night model, just kind of paralleling the games. Night 1, a thrilling new chapter. We see Foxy sitting on the couch and holding a magazine. Legendet, what animatronic is commonly associated with Michael himself?
Foxy.
Foxy, right? Because what mask was he wearing when he did the Bite of 83? Right. So oftentimes Foxy imagery, if implied to be representative of a human being or other existing character that the series, is often going to be associated with Michael Afton himself. So as we see Foxy doing different things in this book, keep that in mind because it potentially is meant to reflect Michael Afton.
Makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. This page looks like it's literally just the kind of the for you to write your stuff in. What are your end-of-life preferences?
Wow.
You're feeling down? Don't. List 10 reasons why applying to Freddy Fazbear. Yeah, don't. It's yeah. I'm depressed. Don't be.
Seems
List
like
10 reasons why applying to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza seemed like a good idea at the time.
At the time.
And
at the time.
They already assume that like. I like how they're very like. I know it's done for comedic effect, but like this company is the most like swindler, like lying company to get people to work and attend, but like at the same time they're almost upfront with how like terrible the conditions are. It's a weird dichotomy. By the way, Michael writes that his idea was employees get free pizza. So that's Michael's true motivation, not avenging, atoning himself for the brother he killed or taking down his psycho father. No.
Getting free pizza.
It's probably sarcastic or humorous on Michael's part. We'll see another example of him being a little, facetious as we go on here. Okay, so you're gonna see these tally marks, and this is part of the code thing or like hidden thing I was telling you about. We're just going to look that crap up because 1, I don't feel like doing it all myself just to reinvent the wheel. 2, we don't need to waste our time on that.
Yeah.
But those tally marks are important to stuff.
Okay.
All right, next page. Doesn't seem to be anything on this one. All right, so we see a sketch of a puppet here. They want you to color in a silly costume. And on part 5 of the quiz results thing, if you get 5 more correct answers, you have the best chances for success in this position. Michael once again scribbles it out and writes survival.
He's like, we're done playing. It's survival, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he don't care. He's pretty aware of it now. Again, there's gratuitous amounts of blood on these pages.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just atmospheric or if there's like a literal death event that's supposed to be tied to whoever had this book last. Cause like Michael, like if Michael had this, if it's canon that some other person is owning this after Mike, like I know supposedly us, but like, you know, whoever's supposed to be having this, like Mike died in a fire, so if he had this on him, it would have been incinerated
Right, so he would have
and
gotten rid
not
of
and
it
not
before then.
blood splotched. Yeah, which means this exchanged hands before Mike's final showdown, or you know, probably before either of the fires, it would have exchanged hands, right? Like, cause the FNAF 3, while it didn't, you know, take down Afton and the other spirits, like, well, we don't even know that about the FNAF 6 fire, but it seemed to be like even less so than the FNAF 6 fire. So like, it feels like even if it was on his person there or in the building, then it would have been burned as well. It could have survived, I guess, but still, the blood splotches, I don't know. Kind of weird. I never put much thought into the blood splotches before, but now that I'm actually looking at the book, it's one of those things. You know what? Oh, I gotta turn the page. You know what they say? Laugh and the world laughs with you. Cry and you cry alone. Make up some jokes for Freddy and his friends to make you laugh on the next page. And Michael writes, not funny. And haha on the other page. Okay?
Okay, Michael.
Cry and you cry alone. He's like, this is not funny. About the picture of Freddy.
Bro's just like,
working the night shift can be hard. I flip the page for you. If you're gonna do that. List the 5 people you most want to see at the end of the day. He doesn't list anything, but he does draw some hearts around this page. That's
Bro's bored.
kind of weird.
Like,
That's kind of random. Yeah, it probably doesn't mean a whole lot. Michael Afton is in love theory
with Chica?
with Toy Chica. Take your family out for a night of fun at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We have some tickets. You can save $8 for a perfect pizza pack. Offer not valid when combined with other authors. 2 medium pizzas with your choice of 2 toppings each. 15 game ride tokens, 1 pitcher of soda. You can also save $5 for Freddy's Fun Time. $6 for Foxy's Pirate Palooza.
Who wouldn't want that?
That is, I mean, that is worth risking your life for at that point, right? Make your workspace feel like home. What decorations can you add to your desk to make this feel more cozy? Aha, we see Balloon Boy person down there looking at us.
Can you flip the page?
More tally marks.
Can you flip the page?
Yep, I forgot to do that for you.
Oh, hello, Boom Boy.
Caveats of having a physical book in my hands. Okay, this is getting into something interesting now. I'm looking so carefully because of what we're about to see when I flip the page for you. Because I don't want to miss any of these is the big thing. Let me introduce you to faded text. So, can you see any faded text? Does it even show up for you, or is it too far removed?
I can see, what do you something?
Okay, yeah. See, that's why I like having the physical edition, because it's just better. It says, what do you remember? Interesting. So that doesn't seem to be Michael writing, right? Because it's not in the traditional red of his pen. It's as, you know, the name that people have attached to it, faded text. You know, this is, before we get to that, though, make a bucket list of all the things you'd most like to do in life. What is holding you back from doing them? You never know how much time you have left. I feel like they should have had Michael write something on that.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
It feels like that would have been a perfect time for him to say something. He's been sarcastic a lot in this book, but I feel like it would have been like fitting to have something, maybe not even like, maybe something more serious he puts there. And then on the next one, our faded text says, was your favorite, oh yeah, pay attention to this. Was your favorite childhood toy a plastic purple telephone?
It was
Legendet,
not.
what is?
Thanks for asking.
Okay. Yes, yes, I'm glad. But what does that indicate? Purple plastic telephone
Purple
toy.
guy.
Classic Legendet answer. Okay, so a plastic purple telephone toy was seen on the floor of the bedroom in FNAF 4.
Oh. Whoops.
So, that probably indicates that Fated Text, whoever they are, is communicating with who?
Mike.
I would probably say the crying child is
Okay.
more
What are we saying?
related to the purple telephone.
What are we
Do you-
saying? Oh, because he was in Crying Child's room.
Yes, it says, was your favorite childhood toy a plastic purple telephone? Crying child is like he's the child of that house pretty much, and we see a purple telephone in it, right? So it's indicative that Fated Text is trying to communicate with Crying Child, I think, is what we would extract from that anyway. So interesting, right?
Yeah. Dang, I want to hear from Michael again.
I know it's been a second. I don't think this page is anything either.
Existential dread.
Ah. I like how on the incident report, just missing persons is already just right there. All right, night 2, another chance to shine. Now this is a big one. So we see Foxy, and the background is the office of what game? Closest to what game, Legendet?
Is it the third one?
Yes, the third one. So this is pretty responsible, and this imagery will continue. It's pretty responsible for the theory that this logbook is taking place around the time of FNAF 3, when Michael was around that location.
Okay, that would make sense.
Because, again, and also it might support that Michael was indeed the night guard of that location. Narratively, it just makes sense. But like I said, if he's representative of Foxy to a certain degree, and we see Foxy standing within something that looks closest to the FNAF 3 location, a lot of people have derived that it's like, oh, this book takes place around then, and Michael's also the night guard of that location. Both of those are up to debate, but I think pretty much everyone thinks that Michael is indeed the night guard. The timing of when the events of this book, like the writings in it and stuff, is taking place is kind of more up in the air, but generally that's the consensus I've heard.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I seems to get Michael doodling. Free trip, cash money, water ski, speedboat. He was an ambitious child, I suppose.
Very, very ambitious.
Oh, there's something I almost missed. That is the arrow down there. It says my name. Look, there's small red text. There's an arrow amongst the doodle. Way down bottom right, and really lightly it says my name, and then pointing to 29.
Oh.
That must be where the whole page number thing spawned. The page number, there's a whole, like I said, I'm not a code cracker, so they also use these different page numbers of different things to appear to solve something else that we'll talk about soon. But again, I'm just going to write off the work of others there because it's already all been done pretty much, and much better than I could have done it anyway. So we're not going to reinvent the wheel with all that. We'll come circle back that around once we've kind of given our overview of the book. We'll circle around and talk about the things people have like solved in it. But yeah, so my name.
That's weird. Okay.
Okay, this is another interesting one. This also really makes it clear that it's Michael Afton. On the television section of this page, it says in his red pen, Clara from The Immortal and the Restless, because everything about this place is crazy and no one seems to notice except me. Responding to the prompt, can you relate your current experiences to their heroic journeys, talking about, characters and whatnot. And Immortal and the Restless was what, Legendet?
Wasn't that the TV show that, like,
Yeah.
there? That was funny. The
That
child is
Michael...
mine.
The baby isn't mine. Yeah. So Michael relates to Clara the most from that, which is interesting because Clara was the one who was very like disillusioned with the vampire's attempts to pretty much deceive her that the child was his, because it was obviously exhibiting vampiric traits, right? So, and he was clearly a vampire. So it seems like even though he was denying it, it feels like the baby was indeed his. And then it obviously ends with Clara burning it down. Like, so yeah, I feel like the parallels between Clara and Mike are pretty obvious here, and this kind of just clinches it,
Yeah.
Some people have used it to be like the dynamic then, because Clara was often used as a like sort of Mrs. Afton stand-in, but with this now, it's sort of like Michael would be Clara, Afton would be the vampire, and then the baby was maybe the crying child. And the idea, since Afton is always like seemingly absent based off of the FNAF 4 context a lot of the times, Michael was like resentful because he had to like basically babysit his brother all the time. So the baby isn't mine thing is like Afton handing off the caretaking of the crying child to Michael too much,
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
could have worked into why Michael was such a bully to him, because he hated that he had to have to like tote him around everywhere or keep track of him all the time,
Yeah, that would make sense. That's actually kind of cool. That's a good connection.
Yeah, so that's a pretty, that's pretty in the fan base's conscience. That's kind of like a thing that goes around. Reflect on the happiest day of your life. Write about one specific memory from that day that will make you feel better if you find yourself facing new difficulties. And he crosses out and says certain death.
Certain death.
And then we have faded text on this saying, do you remember your name? And now, remember, we just saw an arrow that said my name. So perhaps there's questions and responses within this book between two somebodies. Do you catch what I'm saying,
I
Legendet?
do. I'm seeing what you're putting down.
And also, to see what I'm putting down, it says happiest day at the top of this. Reflect on the happiest day. What have we heard of before? Happiest day. What does that mean to us, Legendet? What does it mean to us?
When they went to afterlife. Their
Right.
spirits were gone.
The minigame of FNAF 3, which involved what? The puppet presenting a cake to someone wearing the Golden Freddy mask. And on this page, what do we see?
The puppet presenting a cake to a little girl.
A little girl, yeah. So those are a lot of parallels to that FNAF 3 minigame. Keep that in mind, because that is also a point of discussion and contention regarding the identities and existence, like states of existence of certain characters. So yeah, and then more tally marks, which again we'll get back to. One way to find hope in a seemingly hopeless situation is to fast forward and try peeking into the future. Let's give it a try. What will your life look like in 5 years? And we see a gravestone that Michael drew. He thinks he's gonna die within 5 years.
Poor Michael.
What? I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but there's another faded my name on the gravestone. So clearly, discovering someone's name is probably important, right?
Yeah.
Then we have more tickets. Chico's Cupcake Chaos, Birthday Ball. And then a Happiest Day ticket.
Wow. They're gonna want that
Reserved
one.
Party Room, 3-tier birthday cake. Receive a gift from the puppet. Custom party kit with invitations and hats. So that again, that's sort of, yeah. Uh-oh. Who's that?
Gosh.
Again, just reinforcing two things even more here. He draws casual bongos next to Circus Baby. What do casual bongos mean to us, if you recall? It was one of the like background music things that the elevator AI
Oh,
kind of
that's
set for you
right.
automatically.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I forgot about that. That was funny. That's great.
So that just confirms this book, Michael writing in this book has to be after Sister Location, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we think it has to Sister Location, we believe, is after FNAF 1. So then for us, really our only options is FNAF 3 or FNAF 6 or for time periods this would be drawing in.
I think
And
3.
again, just due to the FNAF 3 imagery in the office, I would very much be inclined to say it's around the 3 time period. All right. Michael crosses off success. More tally marks. In his workout suggestions, he's like, run 5 miles, run even faster, take a self-defense class.
What does it say on the top left?
Top left. Just survival again.
Okay.
He's always crossing out like things about success and just trying to get into survival. Oh look, this is me on an average day. I also feel like it would have been awesome to have Michael draw himself as an animatronic. He could have done like Foxy or something.
That actually
He crosses off, right? He crosses off security and writes animatronic for the forerunner of security threats. So, and there's more cheeky stuff from him. Oh boy. Studies show that you forget half of your dreams in the first 5 minutes after waking. Use this page and the next page to sketch and write notes about your recent dreams. Reflect on the meaning of your dreams. We have faded text on the right page that says, do you have dreams? And what does Michael draw? What is that?
It's hard to tell from this.
It's Nightmare Fredbear.
Okay.
So, what does that imply? Probably that Michael was indeed the one seeing Nightmare Fredbear in the nightmares?
I feel like this confirms a lot of things. This is kind of cool.
It does. It released, like, you know, kind of around after the era of, like, Pizza Simulator and Ultimate Custom Night, kind of the age of answers, in a way. It still opened up a lot of other mysteries, but there was a lot more, like, as close as you could get to confirmation type stuff going on around that time. So yeah. All right, the faded text is really hard to see in these ones, but on the left page it says, do any of these toys look familiar to you? And then on the right page towards the top, there's another instance of my name.
There's also
Oh,
something
and on the bottom,
right?
Yeah, thank you, guys. I did just notice that. One of these belong to you. Probably it's like, do one of these belong to you? Did one of these belongs to you? I think do. It's really hard to tell. But you get the spirit of the question. This is probably narrowing down because we see the phone on the left page. So it's probably narrowing down that the phone is important to whoever faded text is talking to, right?
Yeah. I'd assume so.
As before, it was like, was your favorite childhood toy a plastic phone? I don't see anything on this page that concerns us, right?
Doesn't look like it.
Whenever it feels like there's nothing on a page, I get like scared because I feel like I'm missing it.
Yeah.
Well, now we've made it to night 3. And again, still the FNAF 3 office decor.
Mm-hmm.
Yada yada. Let's get started by listing 10 bad habits you'd like to break. Chewing gum excessively. So apparently Mike is an excessive gum chewer. You have a sticky note. Disregard this quiz. In fact, don't mention the spring lock suits to anyone.
Wow.
The quiz is tie up your score. Wait, where's the quiz? Oh, on the other page. What makes a spring lock suit different from standard? Okay, so they don't want you mentioning spring locks. So whenever this book was like printed, they already were opposed to spring locks being in the public conscience. So that implies problems with spring locks had already occurred, which implies to me that this book was like created. Oh wait, no, not the printing. It's just when the sticky note was put there, because they wouldn't have put this in at all. So maybe this book was made prior to a spring lock incident.
True. And then the bad stuff happened, and they're like, never mind.
Right before. So maybe this book was made really early. Because what would compel them to not want that? I mean, the spring lock, the Bite of 83 is kind of the first big one that comes to mind when you think of spring lock related incidents. Could it be that this book was made before that? Because it has Circus Baby in it, which means Circus Baby was around for the public to enjoy way early.
Maybe this was made a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, what would be the inciting reason for them to, like, because clearly they included spring locks, and like, there's no way if they didn't want you ever mentioning spring locks, wouldn't it feel like they would just exclude it entirely? And then have disregard this quiz. In fact, don't mention the spring lock suits to anyone. Like, to anyone. That means they don't even want, they don't want anybody thinking about spring lock suits. It's not just like, oh, don't tell them the full truth of it. It's like, nah.
Don't mention it at all.
Lock suits of it. Yeah. So that's interesting to me. Doesn't really seem like anything fancy here either. Ooh, more faded text though here. On the left page, was your favorite ride the carousel? Ooh. That's interesting. So the carousel is FNAF 2, right? The FNAF 2 location?
I think so, yeah. Huh.
So faded text is talking to the crying child. That means crying child had to have been at the FNAF 2 location, right?
That's what I assume.
But that doesn't... Is this why people keep wanting to make the FNAF 2 location also Fredbear's, like, rebranded? I've heard that theory being tossed around. I haven't looked too far into it, but maybe that I could see that being one of them. Because, like, the crying child died in 1983. So the FNAF 2... But Fredbear's never showed, like, a carousel, which means it would be a different... That's weird. So clearly Freddy's existed as well when the crying child is alive, because we have the cartoon, we have the toys, we have the plushes. So Fredbear's and Freddy Fazbear's was clearly coexisting. And although we just see him interact and die in Fredbear's, he must have been going to other places. But FNAF 2, like, something of that location must have been around back then as well. Because I know in 87 it's the grand reopening, but I assumed it was the grand reopening from the closure of the MCI location.
Yeah. Apparently he went on the carousel.
Either way, if the faded text has reason to assume that the crying child's favorite ride is the carousel, it feels like the real, like, it feels like the big carousel associated location is the FNAF 2 location, so.
Yeah. So I guess it has to be.
There's all kinds of theories of the locations recently. Like, there's a whole, like, one of them is called Fazburger. Like, I really need to get into the meat, pun intended, of that.
So
that
funny.
theory. I think that's about it on this page, then. Now, this mirror is interesting. There's a YouTuber named Hyperdroid that may have solved one of the name hunting parts of this, and the mirror was part of something that clued him in on it. So we'll talk about that later. Under the mirror, what do you see in the faded text?
I see
And then you
paper.
can see in that word search, Legendet was one of the first things that you sort of become aware of. Look at just that top line.
It's me.
It's me. Now,
Twice.
this is a weird conversation because at this time, it really felt like It's Me was being more specifically associated with Golden Freddy, even though I know there's like it appeared around Foxy's Cove and stuff on the sign. But nowadays, after there was a book that came out that we'll eventually get to the week before, where It's Me is attributed to not just Golden Freddy, like many of the animatronics. So it's tempting to be like It's Me is directly correlating it to Golden Freddy, but these days I don't really think it's fair to directly attribute It's Me to Golden Freddy. But this word search I know is used to extract, I think, also a name. So yeah, we'll get to the name things because, like I said, it relies on some code cracking that well, we'll just look up and show you.
Okay.
Oh, look at the bottom of the word search too.
What is your name?
Yeah.
Oh, it's another. Oh wait, no. There's. Oh, there's another.
Oh, look
It's
at the
me.
sides. Look at the side. All the way to the right. And then down.
Who are you?
This
What
is
is it?
interesting.
Laugh. It's me.
Afton Robotics appears. Okay, so Afton Robotics already exists independent of Fazbear Entertainment at the time this book was made as well.
It says me all over the place.
Yeah, it says me all over the place. It's interesting because, like, if you take this super literally, it's either spiritual stuff is directly influencing the word search to say those things, or it's just non-canon and it's for the reader, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, clearly whatever
Hard to tell.
spirits are communicating here. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that these are spiritual communications, right?
Yeah.
So clearly they can alter the physicality of the book by imprinting the faded text, like the questions and responses and whatnot. But I do wonder if it's supposed to be like, and they can literally restructure the text of the book itself, or if it's like, non-diegetic.
I guess. Get it.
I don't see anything important on this page. Fazbear Entertainment is often looking to rebrand. Whenever a PR disaster strikes, use the space below to design a new logo. It looks like Michael designed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and made him pretty. Is that supposed to be blood around him or something? It looks like he's torn or dripping with something.
Maybe it's a child's body in his mouth.
True. Then these tickets: Bonnie's Blast, Hungry Fazbear, Party Time. Part of the Fazbear family now. Draw yourself into the photos below. It would have been fun if Michael did something there as well. Like did a little
Yeah,
personal portrait in his little red pen. Event log, night 3. Feelings about tonight's shift. I feel like our existential dread is ticking up with everyone. Personally.
Yeah. Oh, she circled them.
Wait, that would have been peak as well. Yeah. Night 4, what are you still doing here? That's a good question.
I don't know. I wouldn't have shown up in the first place.
It's
But
one
I
of those
needed
things
the
that
money.
before... Yeah. And the free pizza. Don't
Mm-hmm.
forget about the free pizza. It's one of those things that early on, before we got all the lore crap, the hints to who the Night Guard might be, it was like the joke of like, why the heck do these guys keep coming back?
Yeah. Like, why are you still here?
Yeah.
Just go home. Don't come back.
All right, and left page, we have more faded text. Do you miss them? That's an interesting one.
Hmm.
If you were to die in a grisly work accident, for instance, being stuffed inside an animatronic suit, who are the people you would miss the most? And then it asks, do you miss them? And it shows Foxy crying and writing a note.
Huh?
This page is kind of interesting.
Oh.
On the right, we have faded text. Does he still talk to you? And it shows the plush, the Fredbear plush, right?
That's
And
kind of
does
confirms it
he
then.
still talk to you? So the plush was talking to the crying child. Do you think? Yeah, that's talking about the plush is like, it's never like simple, you know.
So creepy. Imagine your plush just
So
talking to.
yeah, does that mean it was talking to him like in reality, like it wasn't just in his mind, or does faded text is like, cause yeah, that's because you were wondering if it was literally the spirit of Golden Freddy talking to him because Fredbear seems to be Golden Freddy, right? So like, yeah, that's weird that faded text is asking, does he still talk to you? Like it doesn't know, or it's trying to prompt him to remember? Like, what are the point of all these questions?
I know. It's the most random stuff too. It does kind of feel like someone's trying to get the crying child to like remember something.
Like, kickstart his memory. Yeah. Interesting. And the flesh doesn't exactly look friendly here either. Look at that thing.
It's like
I wonder if
it's like
that's intentional or like does that mean anything? I don't know. Grand reopening. Was that the first time it said something about reopening on those ticket things?
I don't remember. Maybe, but I don't remember reading that.
No, it said other things each time. Okay, that's well. The grand reopening I think of immediately is FNAF 2. That's like, I mean, that they literally say grand reopening there, but this has had several reopenings, you know.
They're not great at keeping something open.
Yeah. That is interesting because like reopening implies a closure. It gets us back to that spring lock thing where it's like, why did like if something is reopening, something spring lock related has already gone wrong. Why did they still go ahead and print the spring lock part, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Yeah,
another
why
by
would
name.
where?
Top left of the right page. You can barely
Oh, I
see it.
see.
Next to the
Kinda see it.
blood splashes. Bonnie's New Groove. Freddy's Fancy Pizza Party Pack. Oh. And then Michael writes, for real value, see page 61. Under the 3 large pieces. What? Why does he say that?
Okay.
61 is just the comic book page. Maybe that's... Is that code related? 61 Legendet is that comic book with Foxy and Freddy. What? Foxy and Freddy.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like what?
What does he mean, real value?
Go back to page 61.
On this it says 61 is the mirror, but on my book 61 is the comic book thing. What?
I have no
The
idea.
printed version seems to be
Um,
what?
You go to the next page.
Oh no, down there. I was using the wrong
It is.
identifier. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, cool! You can like flip them like that.
Yeah, I was just having fun with that. So yeah, I wonder which reopening I guess is talking about. The grand reopening. I remember that language was used for FNAF 2, which was the 1987 location. But I mean, technically the FNAF 1 location, which was around the early 90s. I don't know when it opened though. Could have been that, I don't know. But then this book would have been made too late, it feels like.
Yeah, because it feels like it was made a long time ago, but I don't know. That's weird.
That's weird. It's one of those things that we have to put more thought into, but like we kind of have to, for the sake of the podcast, we keep moving on, but because we can't just sit here and be like, That's why
like
theorizing is right. Yeah, theorizing happens off screen, so we do kind of just have to truck along here. But there are, whenever we talk about something, I'll probably think about it later, and we'll make a different video on it later on.
Oh my gosh, that Freddy's face there. That's scary.
Yeah, something doesn't feel right about that guy to me. I was looking at him earlier, and I first opened this book, and I was like, something's not right. Second appearance of Circus Baby.
Hello.
Oh, and faded text on the right page. Is this song familiar to you?
Ooh.
I wonder what he's playing. I would guess so. I know we haven't gotten to this book yet, but in the week before, when the crying child is bit, it says the music playing in the restaurant is a song called "The Secret Ingredient Is You." So
That's nice.
I wonder if technically we can now like retroactively infer that's the song, or if there's some other thing in this book that I don't know about that would imply what the song might be. But it looks like some of these I'm wondering if Michael did or if they're part of the book. I mean, it's in red, so it kind of makes me think of it's Michael's pen, but also we have like numbers in red on the other page. But either way, there's this sketch of the Freddy crew sort of in ghost costumes.
Like Halloween Freddy. If it wasn't scary enough for you.
Yeah, Halloween FNAF Scary Edition.
Scary edition. Extra jump scares.
Oh, and we have another My Name. At the top of the right page.
There is.
Yeah, very faded.
Oh, I see it.
Don't run, don't yell, don't scream, don't poop on the floor, stay close, don't touch Freddy, don't hit leave before dark. Some pretty basic rules, if you ask me. Don't poop on the floor is a staple.
What the heck? Stay close to Mom? Is Mom there? Don't touch Freddy, but you can touch any of the others.
Yeah.
Wait, leave before dark. With your night guard.
Well, it closes eventually. Also, if we're night guards, like, we can't do that. Who would win if the animatronics are battling for control of the pizzeria? Who do you think would win and why? All right. The first one I'm saying Freddy. The second one I'm saying Bonnie. Foxy's fast, but I don't know if like I'm expecting a head-on fight. You know, I think Bonnie was more brutish. So
Yeah.
Foxy could run away, but that's not the point of this, I don't think. Ballora versus Circus Baby? Yeah, I don't know. Like, does Ballora have access to those, like, Biddy Bab things? Is that a tool at her disposal? If it's just the animatronics, again, Circus Baby just feels more beefy. Rather, Ballora feels like, you know, a little more slender.
Yeah.
One sec, Legendet. My headphones died. I gotta plug them in. Hey guys, Playmaster from the future here. So when that whole, you know, headphone thing happened, Legendet's audio for some reason ended up being impacted. I think it was some way in, you know, how OBS was reading the input-output from her Discord part of the call. So basically, she's going to be silent for the rest of the video, but thankfully, she was just kind of more listening to me from this point on out. You can pretty much guess what she's going to say in response to a lot of things I say, so sorry for the technical error, but, you know, we're just going to kind of keep the podcast episode going, you know, fill in the gaps of what Legendet is saying, I guess. It's really mostly just me yapping. Full disclosure, guys, my headphones and mic had a bit of a problem. If I sound different now, that would be the case, but I'm hoping quality has not been impacted. Anyways, this page that we're on now, yeah, to finish out the tournament here, Biddy Bab versus Puppet. I'd say Puppet. There's a lot of Biddy Babs, but I feel like the Puppet can kick him. As simple as that. Balloon Boy versus Mangle. Mangle wins. I would dare say put Mangle as the winner of facing anyone here. Like, he can crawl around the ceiling and crap. Yeah. Oh, here's a sneeze. Oh. Thank you. For the glory of pizza, says little, daylight is mine to command. Oh, interesting. So we see on this page to the right, overall fulfillment, I can hear sounds. Stress, purpose, hope. It was for me. What does that feel like? I can hear sounds and it was for me. Does that feel like it is something, Legendet? Yeah, and to mention about the Mike Foxy guard connection thing too. Foxy's wearing a night guard badge here, so like it's just like Foxy is the night guard. Oh, you know, that feels even more implicative of Michael, you know. And that exotic butters, look. You've earned who your 1 week bud is. He's like, I want a basket of money, not a basket of butters. Because remember the whole misunderstanding of the thing? It's like, everyone picks cash basket. And it's like, thank you for selecting exotic butters. Oh, the Foxy grid. So this is part of, again, puzzle solving, code solving stuff. Foxy grid is very mysterious, talked about a lot. Kind of was famous for a while for like really not being solvable. I don't know if there's a solid answer to the Foxy grid in current day. I think it's still pretty like one of those things that it's hard to tell if there is one solid true answer for it or not. But yeah, it is discussed quite a bit. Oh, this is a weird thing that Michael wrote. So when a PR disaster strikes, it's always good to have a plan. Think of alternate explanations to these common misunderstandings. My child said Freddy bit him. He tripped and fell onto Freddy's teeth. Not our fault. You know what I think that's saying, Legendet? Yeah, I think that's probably what Michael told people when he was a teenager after that happened. Michael's been primed to be a Fazbear employee. He's been doing PR control since he was like 14 after he killed his brother on accident. Because for a while that was weird. I'm like, why did he say that? Like, he clearly put the crying child along with his friends into the mat. Like, what? But now that I think about it, since it's talking about the PR disaster thing, that's probably what you told people. It wasn't our fault. He tripped and fell on Freddy's teeth. Then he draws a guy. What is going on here? Freddy's in jail and he's doing like a happy little jig. Optimal layout for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He's a jail cell for the animatronics. He's doing a little jig outside. Oh, there's faded text here. Bottom right, the party was for you, it says. Party was for you, says faded text. Probably in reference to the crying child's birthday party, where he was bit. Is there anything on these 2 pages? Not really see anything. Draw all of your most valued treasures in this place below. Doesn't this look like a kind of like a box, Legendet? I know it's a treasure chest, but what is a chest if not a box? Now, more interesting things on the quiz answer things. We see I can't see and I'm scared. Oh, and also Michael wrote the time as 8:11 a.m/p.m. I think that's the only time he's written anything on any of the log things. Why there? Eh? Well, it's weird too because 8 a.m. doesn't match the 6 a.m. off time or the starting time of any of the classic shifts from the games. Is it a random number or is it something to do with code thing again? I don't know. But the idea is that those weird oddities in the quiz things that replace the other words are answers to some of the faded text questions. But hold on, before we get into more of the battles, we have 2 pages left to go. We'll see you next time, or see you next week. We at Fazbear Entertainment would like to thank you for joining our company. We hope this logbook helped you get a better handle on your responsibilities and also provided a bit of fun for you at the end of a long shift. It's no small feat to survive the daily grind here, and we commend you for your courage and lack of common sense. See, like, there's such a weird mixture of admitting their crap, but also talking about PR all the time. Like, and then the last page, which has always been very strange to me, the decrepit, dark-looking Chica in the void. Why Chica? No one knows, because like it's not like that was a hint that led to anything else. Like, given that's literally the last page, like that's theoretically the note that the logbook leaves you off on. You would think it's some sort of hint or foreshadowing, but nothing else is strictly to do with Chica going forward. It's still just general FNAF, so it's an oddity to me that that's the last thing they decided to be in this book, you know? And I was the first, I've seen everything, Secret of the Mimic stuff later on. Yeah. Also the repeated use of the Susie kid, the spirit, like if Chica's like a favorite for some reason out of the MCI related, victim to animatronic correlations. It's interesting. Anyways, now the last thing I want to do, I decided what we'll do next time, Legendet, because this is sort of like last time was sort of like the end of the Scott Games era from the games, but this is sort of like the true end of the Scott Games era, if you know what I'm saying. Before we delve into the Steel Wool side of things, we'll save the interview talk for next time, and in addition to the interview, we'll also do the comment responses because we've got a lot of helpful comments about little details we've missed along the way and stuff. So basically we'll just gather all those and make sure we definitely talk about every one of those that they've informed us of, in addition to the interview, and then it's on to the next era of Steel Wool, of Fazbear Frights, the book series. So yeah. Anyway, just to close out this though, I do want to make sure we get the full logbook experience. So I'm gonna have to look up some stuff now. Oh yeah, so what do you see would be responded with I can't see. So the ones that have direct responses are, what do you see? I can't see. The party was for you. It was for me. And then, is this song familiar to you? I guess could maybe correlate to I can hear sounds. And then, I'm scared is really hard to fit into any one of them, really. Anyway, so it feels like, based on the context of the faded text questions, it feels like the faded text spirit that's like manifesting those are asking the crying child questions mostly because of the party stuff and the telephone stuff. Seems to relate most to the crying child. Um, in which case, who would the spirit be? The idea is that, you know how the theory that there's two people in Golden Freddy, it would be that these two are communicating with each other, right? So Golden Freddy Spirit and Crying Child through manifesting their communications on the logbook. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, so the short of it is, Legendet, is there's hints throughout the logbook that correspond to letters, like individual letters within the word search that eventually spell Cassidy, which, as I said, was a character introduced in the book series, in the fourth closet book. And while she wasn't the Golden Freddy spirit there, she was one of the missing children. And since we have the like other four names that aren't Cassidy, that each are comfortably attributed to possessing a different animatronic via FNAF 3 and Pizzeria Simulator, it would only make sense that Cassidy, if she's any of them, would be Golden Freddy, and then that would make sense why you can find the name in the logbook, and so Cassidy would be the spirit communicating to the crying child. And then going further from there, if we think that the Golden Freddy spirit is also the vengeful spirit, it would either be Cassidy or the crying child, right? In Ultimate Custom Night. And it might make more sense for it to be Cassidy, just given the crying child's earlier characterization, but we can't technically, that, you know, it could be the crying child, I suppose. But the fact that it calls himself the one you should not have killed makes me think that it's not crying child, because William Afton didn't kill crying child, you know? There is a theory, dual process theory really believes that there's this whole convoluted thing, but we can, if we ever get into theory reviews, I can introduce you to that. I don't believe it, though. I think it's way too mental gymnastic-y. All you need to know is that I do not think the crying child fits the criteria for being the one you should not have killed, under the idea that and then it's clear from what the things other people say that the UCN protagonist is Afton and not Michael, because you could say, oh, maybe it's Michael and UCN, but no, the other context around it implies it's William. So yeah, so that's how they got Cassidy from the logbook, and that's kind of why anyone truly thinks Cassidy exists within the games is from the logbook. Otherwise it would have just been like a one-off book character pretty much. And then there's been many other whole convoluted things of trying to extract names for the crying child, because as we know, the crying child's name has also been obscured throughout the series, like it hasn't been explicitly told to us. And with all the my names everywhere and stuff, seems to imply you're trying to find it. And like I said, the YouTuber Hyperdroid was able to get to the name. So the name actually. So guys, my name is Evan. So I was always partial to the theory that his name was Evan. So there's like I said, through the code cracking nonsense, Evan became a theory for a while, right? But Hyperdroid proposed a theory that perhaps sometimes I can, off camera or whatever, I can show you the video, because like I said, they explain all the fancy puzzle solving. But he got to Evad, which is obviously not a name, but it was very close to Evan, which had some solid points to it prior, except for really the end. But he got to Evad in a pretty solid manner. And then the mirror, what do mirrors do? That's on the other side of the word search. They reflect, which can oftentimes put things backward. And Evad backwards is Dave. So and Dave is also in the books. I don't know if you remember in the Silver Eyes, the first book of the trilogy, William Afton's name, William Afton's name that he uses as a fake name when he's going undercover is Dave Miller. So it sort of echoes that. And yeah, the only weird thing is that we then have David in Secret of the Mimic, which you have not been introduced to yet, but we'll talk about that much later. But yeah, so right now, I know, sorry guys, if you wanted me to talk more in depth about the code stuff, I know I've repeated it too many times. I'm not interested in code cracking. I've watched the videos, but I forget, and I don't want to butcher it. I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably already know the history of that. But yeah, Legendet, for what we need to know. Cassidy was found through the word search, through other hints like the tally mark and page number stuff throughout the book. And then Dave is the current. While I feel like a lot of people concede that Dave might not be the final true answer of all time, it is certainly the best one ever produced. And if it's not true, it might have well has been because of how solid the thought process was to deriving it. So basically, what you need to know is, yeah, Cassidy was found in the word search, Dave was found throughout the logbook, and that's sort of like the community consensus is that if the crying child's name is known out of the options, Dave is probably the one. So yeah, and I feel like that covers what you really need to know about the logbook. As with always, we're always missing tiny things, so let us know, let us know. I have realized I do need to brush up on how certain things were found in the logbook, like the names, because I totally forget. But other than that, yeah. Next time, we'll be doing the comment responses, making sure we catch up to everything you helpful commenters have told us of the small things that we've missed throughout this, investigation. And we'll also be doing the Scott's first interview with Daco. So kind of the true end of the Scott Games era of FNAF, and then it'll be on to what you might consider the second arc of FNAF from there, where things get even more complicated to sort through. Anyway, yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. If you watch this, keep loving lore, keep drinking tea, and we'll see you next time.